What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a video game show. I am one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well. How are you this fine day?
Doing just fine and dandy. I managed to have a weird gazpacho-like soup for lunch today.
Ooh.
Have you heard of the chayote squash?
No.
They sell it here, apparently,
Oh.
which you've maybe seen it in H-E-B and your eyes just have not absorbed it.
Yeah, probably.
Because
I'm more of a butternut squash man.
So they're in
spaghetti squash.
Yeah, so everybody loves a nice sketty squash. They're actually usually not in that section.
Oh.
You know the section where they keep like the cucumbers and the weird radishes and stuff?
Yes.
They're over there.
Okay.
Because technically, even though it's called a squash, it's actually like botanically classed as a fruit. So it's like one of those tomato situations where
Interesting.
no one would call it a fruit.
Okay.
But it like because it's basically a vegetable,
Right.
but like you can't technically call it vegetable.
So
'cause it's not.
everybody's gotta-
Anyways, long story short, I bought these chayote squashes for the first time ever. They were very fascinating. They have like no flavor on their own other than a very light, refreshing crispness. And I cooked them down into nothing and pulverized them and turned them into a soup. And the soup was okay hot, but I learned later that it's excellent as a gazpacho.
Oh.
So just eat it cold if you happen
there
to
we
make
go.
chayote squash soup at any point in the future.
We'll post the recipe in our Discord.
It was good.
Well, that's great. I have never heard of that. Yeah, we normally and also like a crisp, refreshing squash seems interesting. Most
So-
of my experience eating squashes, it's a very
It was the
soggy substance.
Ew, what kind of squashes are you eating?
I grew
Gross.
up with sautéed squash,
Oh,
like in a pan.
God.
So it was
Ugh,
just like
Jesus.
wet.
Ew,
goop.
ew, stop it.
not great.
Anyways, it looks like a pear. Like it's the exact shape of a pear, and they're
Okay.
even green, but their skin is a lot thicker, and they have way more like ridges and valleys on them.
Okay, that does kind of
Yeah, you've maybe seen
by
them before.
sight now. That is kind of like I'm painting a picture in my head. So
But like
maybe.
if you chopped it in half, they even kind of look like a pear on the inside, but the flesh is a lot firmer. And then if you just like ate a piece of it raw, which you can do, you can just eat them raw.
Yeah.
It's just like that tasted like water. It tastes kind of like
What's
nothing.
that other thing that's kind of like that? It's like
Jicama.
no, not that. It's like a. Is it water chestnut? Is
Oh,
that-
maybe.
No.
Sure.
No, it's something else. I don't know what
Here
it is,
at
but
Team Squash Podcast,
we know all about
we know
squash,
all about squash.
both the sport and the food. But
don't know
when we're
anything
not
about the
ready to
sport.
talk about those. We talk about our side hobby, video games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. And we talk about those here on Team Chat Podcast each and every week, where you can listen to podcast episodes where you can listen to the episodes over on podcast services such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and others. You can also watch a video version of each episode over on our YouTube channel. Links for all that are in the description below, where you'll also find links to our social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and our Discord, where we have a lot of great conversation when we're not here recording the show. And also, you can head over to tpublic.com to buy some sweet Team Chat merch if you're feeling like this shirt. Ooh, didn't mean
Good
to be
representation.
Didn't mean to be a
Nice.
model today, but here you go, everyone. And so you can buy cool t-shirts and hats and other paraphernalia just like that, just like this from our TeePublic store. You can find that link in the description below also well. And you can also find where you can support the show, just like Allison H, Fuchsia, Ark, Brandon W, Bro Mogan, Super Saiyan Ace, Erica L, Elise F, Michael B, Michael S, Snooty Boots, Susan M, and Zach S have done. You can head over to patreon.com/Team Chat Podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you could support the show. And in return, we'll give you cool perks like getting the episodes early before their general weekly release, access to a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery, and just like our newly announced change, you'll also, regardless of which tier you get, which tier you sign up for, you will get also the Patreon exclusive show Team Chit Chat, where we've changed it up, morphed it a little bit for if you haven't seen the announcement, where we're now taking the pre-show bits that Mogan and I record before the show, and we're releasing those to our patrons as a fun little extra goodie that is the new evolution of Team Chit Chat.
We gave you a little taste of that with today's squash talk.
Exactly.
so if you want more
if
of
you're a
that,
patron, and you get to hear some of that squash talk that is outside of the squash talk that we bring to the show. So anyway, it's a fun new little feature we're trying out, and all patrons get it, and it is a Patreon exclusive topic. So check that out. And if you can't support the show over on Patreon, that's no big deal. We totally understand. And there are a lot of great ways that you can support the show for free, such as telling your friends, writing us a review, or subscribing wherever you're listening to or watching the show. But regardless of your Patreon or not, we are glad you're here, and we love you and appreciate each and every single one of our viewers, listeners, and patrons alike. Heart
Emoji XOXO.
Before we get into the main topic of the day, let's get a little bit of news and what's coming out soon.
Yes,
in our moment
I
with Mogan.
finally feel like we have a shorter list than previously. Thank goodness.
We got caught up.
Partially because we don't have to catch up. All right, so as of today's air date, July 17th, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Oh, snap, really?
Yep, is out now for
there we go.
exclusively the Switch 2. So if you've got a Switch 2, congratulations, you can get the game. If you don't, well, fuck you, I guess.
You don't chew big red, then fuck you.
Anyways.
Okay.
So for those of us that can't get Donkey Kong Bonanza.
If you can play it, I
if
guess
you
tell us
can
how
play
much
it,
you like it or whatever, because I bet it's awesome, but we'll never know.
Oh boy. In other news, Neon Abyss 2 is in early access for PC as of today as well. We also have RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, along with Shadow Labyrinth for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, Switch, and PC. Very inclusive. We love that about them. The Wandering Village is also out today for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. On the 21st, we have an ominous-sounding game called The King is Watching. For PC only. I imagine that this is maybe a horror game, or like a boring life sim. I feel like it could go either way with a name like that. On the 22nd, we have Ludo, that's Luto, for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Also on the 22nd, we have Monument Valley 3, which is, thank God, it's breaking away, well, it's getting jailbroken from Netflix games, where it was previously an exclusive. It's now going to be out for basically everything. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and the Switch.
Not mobile?
It might already be on mobile. I think it already had a mobile release.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. It's because probably the Netflix version is probably the mobile version, I would imagine.
Anyways, we'll fact check that later in the comments. Undermine 2 is also in early access as of July 22nd for PC only. Wildgate is out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the 22nd as well. On July 23rd for the Switch, we have a fascinating sounding name called Duronco Wonko. I don't know what that is, but it sounds awesome. Also,
any relation to the Danganronpa?
You know what? Maybe. I kind of doubt it, but with a name like that, you never know.
Rhyming name.
Also on the 23rd, we have Wheel World, like the wheels on the bike go round and round the world. That's for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Also on the 23rd, Jarrett, I want you to guess what game it is. I'll give you a hint.
July 23rd.
It is a sports game.
NCAA football?
No.
FIFA?
No.
I mean, NCAA football club, whatever
Think
they're calling.
about a game that we care even less about.
Oh.
Well, I don't actually think I don't care about it less
Golf?
than FIFA. No.
No?
WWE 2K 2025.
Actually, no, I'm a huge wrestling fan now, and I'm offended.
So the thing is, I would definitely rank WWE as like way above the FIFAs and the NBAs. Like of all the sports
it's actually
games,
like fun fisticuffs.
This is maybe the one I would play. So that's out for the Switch 2.
Team Chat plays win.
This is specifically the Switch 2 release. I don't know if I made that clear. So that's on July 23rd. And then closing out the end of next week, we've got Hotel Galactic for PC on July 24th, along with Killing Floor 3 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Split with little dots in between each and every letter for PC is out on the 24th as well. So is Super Mario Party Jamboree for the Switch 2.
Oh, I was like, wait, another one already?
No, this is for the Switch 2.
I forgot about Jamboree. Did you play it ever?
No, I don't think anybody did.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know anybody that played Jamboree.
Interesting.
Which makes me think it must not have been good.
I guess not.
But maybe it just, like, wasn't notable, but it was still good.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is how most of the Mario parties have been for the past check swatch 10 years.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Not gonna lie.
When we eventually do our gaming hot takes episode, that'll have to be one of mine.
Oh, yeah, we got to get back because we
I
got to circle back around to mine about the
Honestly,
about
the
Astrobot.
trouble is that I've been having trouble thinking of truly hot takes because I feel like all of my hot takes are so like
Normal
lukewarm,
takes for-
milquetoast normal takes. They're not worthy of being called hot takes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Astrobot one is like my only hot take.
We're going to have to talk
We'll
about
talk about that. Another
Okay.
time, another day, another time.
And then finally, also on July 24th, we have Wu Chang Fallen Feathers for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and that is it.
Very cool, very cool. Well, for our main topic of the day, Mogan is bringing us a first impressions of a game that I literally know nothing about and was honestly very confused about what I first thought this game was, because the game you're going to be talking about today is Fantasy Life, correct?
Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. That's the full name.
Okay.
Honestly, bit of a mouthful. I think the random letter I in the Fantasy Life is horse
Wait,
apples nonsense.
How is this logo? I got to look at this.
Okay,
then.
Fantasy Life. Yeah, to type in Fantasy
Okay.
Life, and then the letter
Fantasy
I,
Life, I.
The Girl Who Steals Time. That's how. Yeah.
Wait,
Right.
why?
Why? Why the I? I don't understand. So complaint number one is that I think
What
the
is
name
up with this fucking
is that
I?
I think the name is kind of stupid. They
Okay.
could have just called it Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time,
Or just
What is-
Fantasy Life.
What? Well, there's already been.
Oh, there's already been a
we'll
Fantasy
talk
Life.
about
Okay,
that.
so
but-
here's the okay. So here's where my confusion came in, because she said Fantasy Life. My head immediately went to, oh, this is just the latest version of like Second Life, or one of those games from. Is that not the right thing? Am I thinking of the Office episode where it was basically like it was like a Sims adjacent thing, where it's like you know, and it was an MMO. You were online and kind of stuff like that. But I might be thinking of just the Office episode, and this isn't actually a real thing.
I don't
feel like.
Second Life kind of sounds
All
familiar.
right, I'm googling this real quick because
Yeah.
So
I've never heard of this, but
Yeah,
maybe it is a
online
game
game.
series. Oh, okay. Well, I don't really play MMOs, so
I mean,
if that's
I don't
what this
either.
was, I
But, like,
never
this
would have
was one
played
from
it.
like a long time ago. Is when it started. When did it actually start?
It looks dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is. 2003. Okay.
Whoa,
So yeah, so
okay.
it's old.
All right,
so
I don't feel bad about
so
not knowing
I thought
it.
it was something like that, and I was honestly, when you then said like, "Oh, I've been playing this great, whatever I've been playing," I was kind of like, "Really? You went for one of these?" Yeah, because I didn't feel like that's normally your thing.
because you
So I was.
didn't. Okay.
So then you explained to me that I am very mistaken, but yet I still know nothing about this game. So please explain Fantasy.
Well, let's talk about Fantasy Life. So a little bit of backstory. This isn't a new IP, is the way that I should
Okay,
say it. So
okay.
Fantasy Life is an established series. It had its first game, which I believe was maybe just called Fantasy Life, out on the DS.
Oh, okay.
Back in I'm going to guess and say 05 to 10. You want to fact check me on that while I go
For
about
sure.
it? And
So
then
basically, it was a Second Life
yes,
sequel.
yeah,
then.
yeah. Well, no. No, not at all, really. But it came out for the Nintendo DS, and I know that it got like a massive cult. Well, maybe not massive, but it definitely got a very dedicated cult following because people loved that game. And Fantasy Life always felt like the kind of DS game that I wish I had had at the time. I just never went back and cycled through it. What year did it come out?
2012.
2012. Okay, I was off by a little bit. So it came out in 2012, and then I want to say in probably anywhere between 2020 and 2022, where all of my memories kind of become one congealed mass.
Yep.
They came out with a Fantasy Life mobile game, which was, I'm going to use the word dreadful.
That feels familiar.
Yes. So I'm
Like
gonna,
I feel like you. I
feel like
remember
maybe
you
talked
talking about it because it was either one you reviewed for that the
I
site.
did, yes. I reviewed for that site that I used to write about mobile games for. And I knew, having never played the DS version, I still knew that whatever Fantasy Life Mobile was doing, it was not good.
Yeah.
Mostly because, and this is true of so many mobile games that get ported, that get an adaptation
Sure.
from a real video game, they just have to strip out all of the good stuff because they're mostly trying to make a money machine.
Right,
They just want to make you
microtransactions.
do microtransactions. So now that I've actually played a proper Fantasy Life, I can confirm the Fantasy Life mobile game sucks ass. You do not need to go back and play it. It is totally worthless, not worth your time at all. But Fantasy Life, now that I've actually got my hands on a real game, Fantasy Life The Girl Who Steals Time, for the PS5 specifically, I do believe that it is out for the Switch. I think it's eventually coming to Switch 2. I'm not sure if it's out for Switch 2 right now. It's also out for PS5. However, I think it only has a physical version for the Switch, which I was
Interesting.
deeply
Okay.
bummed about. So I decided to get it for PS5. I'm going to be totally honest, mostly because I was very concerned about performance issues on the Switch. Like with Stardew Valley in the
yeah.
later game, when you've got a lot of assets on screen, I've definitely had a lot of frame drops in the past on my Nintendo Switch. So
Civ
it's like,
6 on the Nintendo Switch
Yeah.
late game. Oh my god.
well, yeah. So I was not going to chance it. I decided I'm going to play it safe. We're going to do this on the PS5. So I've been playing it on the PS5. I'm all ready. So I bought it on Friday during the middle
wow.
of the day.
Okay.
And I think I'm already like 15 hours in or something.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot. I will tell you right off the bat that Fantasy Life is just the epitome of flat butt gaming. Like, this is absolutely a flat ass game. You are not going to leave the couch for so long. And there's a lot going on, so there's a lot to talk about. So the gist that I've been telling to my friends that I'm trying to convince to play Fantasy Life, but they've also never heard of the series, is imagine Animal Crossing on steroids and then mix in a little taste of Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
Because it definitely fits into that genre of being considered like a cozy game or a life sim game, because it definitely does fit into all of those genres, but it has less of an emphasis on sort of the farming mechanics, like a lot of those, like the Stardew Valleys of the world do, and it has more of an emphasis on like action adventure. So it's a little bit of everything, and honestly, it kind of does, I won't say that it does any one thing amazingly, but like the percentages of like basically like if it had a skill tree and if it had built out its own skill tree into, okay, we're going to do a little bit of crafting, we're going to do a little bit of city design, we're going to do a little bit of combat, we're going to do a little bit of hunting gathering, like all of this, like just the way that they've put it together, it actually works really, really well.
Nice.
So Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, we'll talk a little bit about the story. Honestly, the story is not anything to write home about yet. I wouldn't say that the story is the reason to play the game, but it's better than nothing. Yeah. I would say it has more story than like a Stardew Valley, for example. So the game starts off. You're on a boat. Everybody loves being on a boat, right? The high seas, adventure around every corner. Who knows where you're going to end up? And that's absolutely true for you and the rest of the crew of this boat, because you are like an apprentice archaeologist. Okay. And you're apprenticing to the great, I'm putting that in air quotes because I'm not even sure if he has a degree. You're apprenticing to the great archaeologist, Edward. No last name. They don't do that in this game.
First name basis.
First name basis.
He's that famous of an archaeologist.
He's that famous. So you are on Edward's ship. There's a bunch of other crewmates with you. You are human-ish. Edward is definitely human, but the other inhabitants of the boat are, I gather, like a Fantasy Life staple race of people adjacent creatures called plushlings. They look at, so this was absolutely like, I imagine when they were making Fantasy Life the first time around, someone in marketing and merchandising went, okay, you have to make something in this game cute and sellable in stores.
For sure.
So they were like, no problem, we can make one of these little creatures called plushlings. Are you looking them up?
I'm looking them up,
because they're so cute. So they come in a variety of different little shapes and sizes, but for the most part, imagine like a silly little thing that you can just imagine being a plushie. That's exactly what a plushling is.
I believe the kids are calling these labubus these days.
Not quite. Wait, no, they're calling them squishmallows.
Oh, these do look like squishmallows a little bit more.
Before Labubus, there was squishmallows. Yep. So they're definitely squishmallow adjacent. And they can talk. They're sentient. But you also gather that like a sort of mainstay of their race is that they're kind of stupid. They're not entirely
just idiots.
They're just kind of stupid. They're kind of silly. They're silly little guys. They're just silly little stupid guys. So they're not necessarily the archaeologicling type themselves. You can see that I'm on the plushling level today. But they are definitely good enough to be like crew members and pilot boats and like be little hunter-gatherer explorers.
So hard labor,
with you.
basically, is what you're telling me. Jesus Christ, what is this game?
It's a little rough. But anyways, so in addition to you, the crew, and the plushlings on the ship, you also have your little bird companion, Trip. Trip is adorable. He's like a little blue parrot. I love him to pieces. He can say like 3 words. That's his thing. Like, 'cause, you know, he's a parrot. He's got a little bit of a vocabulary. And Edward, who is technically his like companion, has taught him a few things. And then you also have a big dragon skeleton. There's just a big...
Okay, I've been seeing that on the
So
art.
you've been seeing it. That's him. That's the dragon. So you've got just a big inanimate pile of bones on your ship that is shooting out a green ray of light into the distance. Okay. So through very vague backstory, you learn that Edward apparently found this dragon skeleton, somewhere. They do not go into it. They also don't go into the logistics of how they got it on the boat in one piece, which I feel like they should have spent more time on that. But you gather that they are following the magical light that this dragon skeleton is putting out. They have no idea where it goes. They're hoping for the discovery of a lifetime. So it's all about adventure, right? They do actually wind up finding something. So at the beginning of the game, you get to the end of where that light is leading you, and it is a abandoned, seemingly, island.
Ooh.
And the island, technically the game wants you to call it Mysteria because that's what's pre-populated when it lets you name the island. Obviously, I renamed it to Moganda immediately.
Okay, but now, mystery could be solved. Does the I in Fantasy Life just stand for island?
That's a good question. I will admit I did not think of that.
Is the first Fantasy Life like on the mainland?
I don't know. I never played it.
All right,
That's
we're
a
gonna
good
figure this out.
Yeah, that's a good question.
While you're explaining more of this, I'm gonna do some research, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Also, a great question for Fuchsia. So maybe we
Fuchsia,
could actually
answer,
hit up the
please.
Discord because she is a Fantasy Life OGer, and I feel like
perfect.
she would know all of the lore.
All right.
Anyways, I don't know. Maybe
Answer
it is.
for us, Fuchsia,
but if it were
please.
going to be called Fantasy Life Island, they just should have fucking called it Fantasy Life Island. The I is stupid. Anyway, so you get to the end of the line, you find the island in the distance, but before you can make landfall on it, another dragon shows up.
That's not good.
A big dragon, and this one's alive, and it's purple. It's also outfitted with missiles, like sword claws, armor, and like a big sort of axe thing on its face helmet.
Ooh.
It's crazy, and it starts shooting energy balls at you and the rest of the crew immediately. Luckily, just in the nick of time, your skeleton dragon comes back to life.
Incredible.
So they call him Skelegon, which is
I was going to ask, I almost like jokingly said, is his name Skelly or something like that?
is.
But then you started saying it, I was like, oh my God, it really is.
They really do name him Skelegon. So they don't actually name him until a little bit later in the game, but like, come on, he's a skeleton dragon. What are they going to call him? So Skelegon wakes up at the last second, and the ship definitely does get blown to smithereens. The plushlings all get thrown in one direction. You, Edward, and Trip get flung in another direction, but before you can hit the water, Skelegon comes and swoops up, scoops you up onto his back. An epic battle ensues between Skelegon and this unnamed evil purple dragon, and they lose.
Oh, no.
So they lose, you know, the classic Harry Potter wand battle where it's like which energy beam is going to win. One of those happens. Skelegon loses. You get blasted off into the ether, but as you're falling, Skelegon kind of saves you, because Skelegon opens up a little mysterious portal to somewhere. You don't really know where. So later on a random beach, on the Iron Island, perhaps.
Okay, so like circling back around to that,
Yeah.
I think
Is
we
it?
could
Did
be
you
right.
find out? You might be
because
right.
the first game is set in the fantasy world of Reveria.
Oh, well, this actually is still in Reveria.
Okay, but which is made of the plains and mountains that center and surround 3 lands. So that sounds like it's very much set
Maybe it
on
is.
like a big continent.
Okay, yeah.
This one seems to be more island
This
set.
one is very island-based.
So I'm saying we solved the mystery.
You know what?
Fuchsia can correct us
No.
if we're wrong.
No, you know what?
No,
We're right.
It's the lore.
It's the
done.
lore now.
Okay,
We're
Team
making
Chat
the lore right
it's law.
now. It's law. Ka-chow.
It is decided.
It is decided. So, anyways, you wake up on a beach. You are, by the way, you are a nameless character. You name yourself. You do a little character creation segment, which isn't like the most expansive character creator in the world, but it is very cute. You've got lots of nice options for it. They give you like every rainbow skin color under the sun, except that they have very, very few options for just sort of natural dark skin, and I was like, they have like 2 options, and both of them don't seem quite right. Like something about the tones is just like, what's going on here?
Do better, Fantasy Life.
Do
people.
better,
Come
Fantasy
on.
Life.
It's 2025.
They have like 9 different versions of white, and then like 2 dark ones. And then they have like blue, green, purple, pink. And it's like,
Get
really?
it together.
Come on. Anyway, so I made my little character. They're just sort of a very... I was trying to make a cute little girl, but then when the character actually started to like play out in real time, I was like, I think I made a cute little boy. I don't know what happened here. So anyways, I've got a cute little boy. He is waking up on this island, and he has no idea where he is. But nearby, face stuck in the sand, legs akimbo, wiggling all around, is Trip. So you don't know where Edward is, but you find Trip, you dig him out of the sand, and all of a sudden, Trip has like this, like sort of stone, maybe metallic helmet on his head. And it looks very like ancient technology. You know, like the ancient aliens?
Yeah.
You imagine that the ancient aliens would have made a helmet like this.
Okay.
And Trip, instead of just being able to say 3 words, now has an expansive vocabulary.
He's your new best friend.
Trip can talk all day, and also his voice is terrible.
Oh, no.
He kind of sounds like he's from Brooklyn. Like he has a very confusing accent. It's a little abrasive, and you're like, but he was such a cute bird.
Because before, did he just like say words in like bird speak, like parrots?
Well, no, he could say them in like English air quotes, but it's not like he was, saying soliloquies.
Right.
Now he is, and he sounds like he's kind of a jerk, but he's not. He just sort of sounds that way.
Gets smart, becomes a pompous asshole.
He gets smart. So he's got this helmet on, and he's like, whoa, what's going on here? And your character kind of knocks the helmet off of him, and he's like, back to dreams, adventure, flying. so you put the helmet back on him, and now he has become basically your narrator, because as a nameless, voiceless main character, your person doesn't really talk at all, so Trip has to do all the talking for you. It's a classic Link Navi situation.
Sure.
Everybody's familiar with the design. So you wake up on the island. You don't know where you are. You don't know where Edward is. Point of order: you have to find Edward. You're trying to get the crew back together. While you're trying to find Edward, you rapidly discover that the abandoned island you thought you were going to has a lot of people on it. There's people everywhere. There's a whole civilization. There are like big, fancy, like the terraced pyramids. There are fancy terraced pyramids. There are houses. There are waterways, little canals. They've got docks. They've clearly got like a real civilization going on here. And they're looking at you like, you're dragging bashed into my house. Your dragon fell out of the sky, smashed into my house, and now I don't have a house. And it's going to cost me 10,000 gold to rebuild it.
Do you have that kind of
Do
money?
you have 10,000 gold? And you're like, oh shit, I do not have 10,000 gold. And also everybody's kind of freaked out by the dragon, but you're like, no, he's nice, I guess.
Okay,
we just met him.
The description of this game is starting to make me slightly historically uncomfortable. This sounds way too similar, minus the dragon and mystery portals, to Columbus discovering the New World. on the backs of the hard labor of the plushlings. And they come up to a pyramid new world with pyramids like the Aztecs and Mayans and Incas of old, and they're like, this is ours.
So the thing about that actually felt really funnily like that in a not maybe intentional way that the game meant it, but when you are on the boat and you're approaching Mysteria, Edward's like, an undiscovered land. Let us name it immediately. You haven't even gotten onto the island.
So they're kind of a little like self-aware.
You're already totally colonizing it. So yes, there's a little bit of that going on. But I mean, it's not like you have soldiers. It's not like you're looking to move
militaristic force.
You're mostly just looking for old bricks and shit that you can write back to the Archaeological Guild of Riveria and get famous for. That's what you're going for.
I mean, Columbus was going there for riches.
Well, what you find is a lot of ore, copper, riches.
And then you want to settle and build your own economy there and take it over. What is this pro-colonialism bullshit?
So anyways.
Just kidding. I play a game called Civilization. It's literally the point.
It's literally the point, but also it absolutely, there are parts where I'm just like, come on, guys. Yeah. Anyways, so long story short, through XYZ means you do wind up meeting up with the princess of this, what do they call themselves? Do they just call themselves Riveria? I can't remember what. Yeah, I think they just call themselves Riveria.
Yeah.
If they call themselves something else, I don't give a fuck. Don't say anything to me. I don't care. I'm playing the game to harvest my little herbs and spices and cook a little meal in the game, and that's it. Anyways, you meet up with the princess. Her name is Rem. She's very cute. Okay. She also has a little dragon companion with her, but it's a baby dragon. Its name is Lil G. Well, his Christian name is is technically Growler, but she calls him Lil G,
that's
which I'm
funny.
like, oh god. Anyways, Lil G is like clearly a baby because he wears half of an eggshell on his lower half. That's how you know he's a baby.
Easily replaceable eggshell, easy to clean the poops out.
Yep, easy, exactly. So anyways, you meet up with Lady Rem, that's what everybody calls her in the game, and she takes you to her brother, King Renoa. And King Renoa is like not old, he's young. You gather that both of them are actually quite young. You learn through a little bit of backstory that they are orphans. Both of their parents died, so their father died first, leaving the kingdom in the hands of a child, Renoa, and then later on their mother also tragically passed away. You gather from illness, it doesn't seem to have been anything crazy like a war or something. So they are alone in the world, and Renoa, if you had to guess, he's like at best 22.
Okay.
He's
So
probably
a young
more
guy.
like a 16. He's a young guy. And he's also very, very overprotective of Lady Rem because they are the only two people left in their family. Also, they're the last of the royal line.
Uh-oh.
So, like, if both of them die, that would kind of be a big deal for the kingdom or whatever. So they are just sort of wondering, who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Your dragon crashed into somebody's house. You owe somebody money. They are incredibly not super alarmed by the fact that a portal in the sky opened up and a dragon and people fell out of it. They seem pretty like adaptable to
daily
that
occurrence.
to that development in their world. They're not super worried about it. They are, however, worried about this house. So
Really got to pay it back.
they really got to pay it off. So before you can leave, before you can go back to your world, because you gather that Skelegon can take you back. This seems to be a power that your magical dragon has. But before you can fly away, one of the characters literally like lassos out a like a chain, like a ball and chain, like shackling Skelegon's leg,
God.
and she reels you back in. Her name is Auntie Anne. She's got an
pretzels?
They know. You wish. She's a leader of the guild.
Oh, okay.
And she's got like some sort of merchandising grift going on the side. It's very suspicious. But anyway, she reels you back in because it was her house that you destroyed. And she's like,
no. So now you're in debt to the mafia.
you ain't leaving until you pay me back that cash, which means you have to find a way to make money.
Okay.
That's where the life in fantasy life comes into play. So this is where the game really opens up, and I will say that the beginning few hours of the game definitely take a while, depending on how you sort of choose to approach it, because there are many different paths you can take. So the first order of business is you have to go to the guild house. So you go to the guild house, which is run by Auntie Anne, and you have all of these different options for choosing a life, which is essentially a career.
Right.
So you have all of these different choices for your career. They mostly boil down into three categories: combat lives, gathering lives, and crafting lives. So your combat lives are things like hunter, paladin, mercenary, magician. Your gathering lives are things like woodcutter, angler, miner. What's the other one that I don't do very often? Wood,
Fishing?
fish. I said
You
angler.
said fishing. Carpentry?
Yes. Yes. Oh wait, but that's a crafter one. That's a crafter
okay.
one. There's the carpenter. Why am I forgetting it?
Fisher, farmer,
Farmer. Yeah.
builder.
Maybe farmer was the one I was forgetting because that one's initially blocked
Merchant?
off. No, actually not merchant. But so anyways, the other ones are things like tailor, alchemist, what's the other, carpenter, and then blacksmith. That's the other crafter one. So there's all of these different lives to choose from. In the early game, farmer and artist are blocked off. You actually can't do those quite yet. You have to do story stuff to get them. But to start out with, you have a wide choice available to you. I picked the tailor to start with because I was like, paladin, that's too easy. I
want to make the freshest of clothes.
I'm going to make clothing. So the way that all of these licenses work, because that's what you're doing when you go to the guild office, you're picking up a license to start this new career. You pick up a license and the guild master will tell you, okay, great, now go find your career master, your life master. So I went off to the tailor's shop to apprentice under Madame Sue.
Ooh.
And she has a big personality and big hair, and she's like, darling, how are you? And I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. When I signed up to be a tailor, this is what I was wanting.
Yeah.
So you learn how to craft. So of the crafting life abilities, they all kind of follow a very similar format, but they obviously do different things depending on what you're trying to make. The general format for the crafter class is they are a little mini game. made up of 3 different sections, and it's kind of like a timed quick time event where you have to do 3 things in like a variety of successions and orders and speeds to be able to make XYZ object that you have to have the materials to create. So let's say that I wanted to make a new pair of sandals. I would need leather string and I would need a woven straw fabric.
Yeah.
So as long as you have those things in your inventory and you complete the minigame successfully, bada bing, bada boom, you got some sandals on your hands.
And is it a minigame like QuickTime event, like hitting buttons? Okay.
Yes, minigame QuickTime event, hitting buttons. It's not complicated, but it is quite satisfying. I get a lot out of it. I'm like, because it almost feels like a rhythm game in a certain sense, except
nice.
it's
And
not
you do
set
love
to
a rhythm
music.
game.
So I love that kind of crap. So the tailor, the carpenter, the cook, we forgot about the cook and the alchemist, those all kind of follow that same format. The blacksmith as well, they all follow the same format. They just get different recipes depending on which class you are currently doing. The combat classes work exactly how I'm sure you probably think they do. The paladin has sword and shield. The mercenary gets a broadsword. The hunter gets the bow and arrow, which I really like because that's one of the only 2 that really has distance to it.
Oh, nice.
The other one being I think I said alchemist earlier,
Yeah,
but I
you did.
meant magician.
Okay.
There
hand
is
in
an
hand.
alchemist, but the alchemist is a crafter class. The magician is a combat class.
Got it.
So there's magic and all of your different regular basic-ass weapons. Combat is not complicated. It is basically approach enemies, hit the square button to do attacks. You do, of course, have the ability to hold to do like a heavy attack, and then you also have triangle in some cases to do like a little special attack.
Yeah.
So with the hunter, for example, if I hit square in a rapid succession, it does 1, 2, 3, and then a rapid fire of like 4 arrows after that. If I approach very quickly and do the triangle button, I do like a sort of flip-backy scatter shot, if you want to
okay.
call it
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
which gets distance because I obviously want to be in the back lines. And then if you do the hold down button, it does an AoE like rain of arrows.
Oh, okay, cool.
So not complicated. Critters are not very hard to kill as long as you're sort of playing your cards right. You do have the ability to dodge out of the way. And later on, you have other people with you, other party members, to take some of the heat off of you so that if you're the hunter or the magician, you can stay in the back lines.
I mean, that's more combat than what's in Stardew. Stardew, it really is just like you hit one button and just like
Exactly.
hack away at stuff. So, I mean,
Exactly.
it's
So
kind of
it's-
nice that there's a little bit more there.
Yes, there's definitely more there. And especially with the way that the classes interact with each other, there's a lot of synergies there. Because, for example, if you're the hunter, but you don't have a blacksmith and you don't have a tailor to make you better armor and to make you better weapons, you're going to suck ass. Basically the rhythm goes, you go get a new career, you do its little basic tutorial section, you level up to fledgling in that career, and then you move on to the next one.
Got it.
I gather that you're really not supposed to be sticking with one because it's going to totally block off a lot of really helpful upgrades and level up abilities for you in all of these other areas.
Sure.
So you got to be chopping wood. You got to be killing sheep for their fleeces. For the tailor, you have to be doing all
Wait,
of
you
it.
have to kill the sheep to get their wool?
Yes, you have to
don't
kill sheep to get the wool.
What is this game?
You kill the sheep. So to be fair,
It is a fantasy life.
the place that you're getting fleece from specifically, they are technically enemies. So these are sheepies that will attack you. It's not like you're rolling up to somebody's ranch and decimating their sheeps for their
I
fleeces.
mean, that's what it sounded like. At
what it
least they're like the warrior sheep and you're defending yourself. That makes it a little better. But I like it like, we need that wool that grows on you
need that
constantly.
wool.
I'm going to have to kill you to get it.
For it. No, it's not quite that bad. They are actively trying to kill you. And sometimes you run into like a boss level sheep, which will have like a little crown over its name so you know it's a boss.
Oh, snap.
And it'll be bigger than the other sheep and it'll have better attacks and it'll be like a golden sheep. And when you kill it, you get golden cashmere fleece that you can use to make fancy
So
cashmere
do you have
armor.
to? So for other things, you have to get like, say, you do you collect milk for food? Do you have to go kill cows?
Good question. So there is the cook class. So if you are the cook, you do need a lot of ingredients.
Yeah.
But as far as the sort of gathering component goes, you mostly gather foods in the world or you fish them out of the seas.
Okay.
So you can fish for stuff. You do get raw meat from certain enemies that you can defeat. Like, I haven't...
People.
No.
You get the wool from the sheep enemies. You get meat from the people enemies.
There are no people enemies. There are only like there's little like lizards that you get like little tail steaks from, that kind of stuff. Okay. It's fantasy stuff, all right. You're not killing people.
That's where the Breath of the Wild comes in. It's a little bit more of the wild creatures or wild collected things. Okay, yes, I understand.
Exactly. So you get all kinds of little materials from everything that you can do in the world. You get wood and berries when you chop down trees. You get seeds and vegetables. If you're doing like the farmer class and you're farming for vegetables, that's how you get a lot of the ingredients for the cook. There is milk in the game, but I have never acquired it from a creature, so I don't know how I got it. Like, I think maybe it was a quest reward.
Okay.
Because another function of the game that is very important for letting you progress and like not just letting you progress, but motivating you to progress is all of the different characters in the land of Riveria will have requests for you. So you might go up to somebody and they're like, man, I really want to, dazzle this guy that I'm trying to get his attention. Can you bring me some topaz? So you have to go be the miner, collect fancy topaz, bring them back to her. And then the next day she's like, man, that fucker did not even look at me. So what I'm going to need now is I'm going to need you to bring me some aquamarine. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll go get you some aquamarine then. And then the next day she's like, man, that bitch is just not getting the hint. I need you to go get me some rubies. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So different characters around the map will have requests for you, and then they will often have sort of like higher scaling levels of that same type of request as you keep progressing and leveling up in the game. Because each career class, each life, I don't know why I'm calling them careers, each life class has its own leveling system. So every single life that you level it up individually. Okay. They do not all level up together. So like in my case, I do the most hunting, woodcutting, and mining. So my levels in those are like way higher than, for example, my blacksmith and my alchemist, which I actually just unlocked today. I just did the alchemist and I'm like, oh man, this would have been so helpful like 10 seconds ago. I really should have done this sooner, because the alchemist can do stuff like make health potions, make mana potions, make like charms that help your defense and stuff. And I'm like, damn, I should have done this one sooner.
I should have done this before I had to kill the king sheep.
Before I had to kill king sheep. It's very difficult.
I asked about the milk because you're talking about having to fight the sheep to get their wool. Just immediately reminded me of this area in Diablo 2. I can't remember now if it's a secret area or if it's... I feel like it's not, and because I've come across it, where it literally is like all the enemies are just like these fast-moving bipedal cows. Like on their 2 feet carrying spears, like charging after you and stuff. You have to fight like mass hordes of them. So that's what I was imagining. You have to go to the fields of the cow warriors to get the milk.
Good Lord, no.
Okay.
But in addition to things like king sheeps, there will also be like king trees. There are
the
like,
ants.
Yes, they're not alive. Well, one of them is alive, but you don't fight him. He's just a friendly tree.
He offers other trees and sacrifice so he stays alive.
The gist is that anything that you can hunt or gather out in the world will usually have its scrubby level version, like the regular sheep, and then a boss level version, like a dragon, or like a really, really big tree that takes 110% of your mana to chop it down. At the end of it, you're like, I can't even do it. I have to back up because I'm not leveled up enough in this class yet to be able to defeat the level 25 tree.
Gotcha.
And it's so funny when you like go up to a boss tree or like a boss ore, because it's just an ore. You're just mining. But like boss music will start. So it feels so it feels so much higher stakes than it actually is. You're like, oh God, like it's not attacking
expecting
you.
something to like pop out and get you.
No, you just have to like have the mana to be able to defeat it properly.
That's funny.
It's really funny. The game has all this random little charm all over the place that it's just like, why? But also I do like it. So long story short, you rebuild that lady's house, you get the money for it from your various jobs, and you're like, all right, now we can go home because we found Edward earlier and now we've got money. Let's go back to the present, because you sort of gather that you're maybe in the past. You're not quite sure yet.
Okay.
So you get on Skelegon and you go back into the present. which you do determine after getting there. You're like, oh, this abandoned island that we found in the present is actually that same island that we were just on. Clearly some sort of cataclysm happened here, because it's definitely Riveria. There's like the stepped pyramid in the background where the king used to be, but sort of right in the middle is a big cavernous crater, and it just like goes down, down, down.
See, the Ravinians from your homeland in the future heard about your discoveries in the past at this island, followed you through the portal.
They may have.
And just stripped it of all of its resources.
They may have.
Oh my God.
So we're not really sure yet. This is the mystery of Mysteria, a.k.a. Riveria, a.k.a. an island. Anyways, whatever.
AKA the eye.
So you descend into this giant hole in the present, and you find all of this, again, like ancient technology. Like, it seems really advanced, but also it's clearly nobody's been here in 1,000 years. And down in the hole, you come across a absolutely dastardly little dark magician girl. And she's like, get the fuck out of my ruins. She's clearly up to no good. And she keeps throwing all these obstacles in your way that usually involve blocking off Edward from the rest of the group.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out, okay, well, she put a magical boulder in our way, so I have to go get a super good miner to help me get the boulder out of the way. Oh, now she's put a giant carrot in the path. I gotta go get a farmer. Yes, it's really a carrot. I gotta go get a really good farmer to help me get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, she bashed the face off of one of the 2 puzzle statues that I needed to get through the door. So now we can't get through. I need an artist.
I need to become a stonemason.
I need to become a stonemason. So there's all of these little silly story reasons that you have to go do these things.
Yeah.
So I really like the pacing of it. I think it's done quite well. It's definitely very slapstick in its humor. Like, there's high stakes, but the stakes are not that high. You get through the boulder and you discover that Carla, the like evil magician, has been torturing Edward by making him read books. Well, joke's on her, because he loves books.
He's a learned architect. He has many leather-bound books back in his study.
And then once you get past the carrot, it's like, oh no, she's making him eat bowl upon bowl of super spicy curry, but he loves it. It's just all this very silly stuff. I really like the humor of it. Anyways, the point is, you've got this balance between the present, the past, and like a third mysterious land called Ginormosia, which is like dinosaur times.
Okay.
So there's dinosaur times, there's the regular past, which is 1,000 years ago, and then there's the present. So you are hopping back and forth with the power of Skelegon between these 3 areas. Your Ginormosia, I don't know how people are saying it, the ginormous land, that is absolutely like a beat-for-beat ripoff of Breath of the Wild. There are
funny.
map towers that you have to go up to, and then they show you what's around on that area of the map. It's also just a really great place to get resources. It's really just for fighting, for mining, for crafting. Like Ginormosia is where you go when you don't want to do the main quest. You just want to dick around and do other stuff. Perfect for that. There are dungeons, there are caves to explore, there are big king fishes to fish out of the sea, all kinds of stuff. Yes, there are king fishes, there are boss fishes. Did we not talk about this? I told you, everything has a boss mode. So you are trying to do this balancing act between the present, the past, and the far past. In the present, you are essentially trying to solve the mystery of, what is this hole? What is this hole in the island of Riveria? What caused this?
Sure.
And also at some point you see a ghostly hologram message from Lady Rem, but it's in the present, and she's just telling you like a nonsensical message. She's like, please, you have to destroy the gear, but you don't know what the gear is. You think that maybe it's something that some evil scientists were maybe working on in the past.
Okay.
And now you're in the present, and there's a big hole in the ground, and the island is deserted. So maybe that gear thing actually was kind of a big deal.
Okay.
So you got to get to the bottom of that hole to find the gear, figure out what's going on here. Along the way,
Interesting.
in addition to all of the other stuff that I've already told you, you are also acquiring party members as you go.
Okay.
So it's not just you alone.
So it
on
has
this
a little bit
journey.
of RPG
It's got a
aspects
little
to
bit
it.
of RPG aspects, absolutely, because all of the party members that you can acquire, they also have lives. So, like, if you come across a carpenter girl and you turn her from a strangeling, which is like a silly version of what their job is. So, like the carpenter, she
Yeah.
becomes a dresser, like a wardrobe.
Yeah.
And then when you turn her back into a human, she's just a regular carpenter, and then she'll help you do carpentry crafts. So it like gives you extra access to like better life skills that you wouldn't have been able to do on your own.
Interesting.
So you want to get a lot of party members, especially if it's something that you're struggling with. Like if your angler class is really underleveled, but you need the golden marlin and you don't have the strength to fish him from the seas yourself. Well, you got to go find another angler to help you out with that.
Got it.
It's very funny. And so if you're like the woodcutter, for example, and you've got a party of 3, you've got a full party with you, but none of them are woodcutters. If you like go to chop down trees in just the overworld, they're with you all the time. And they talk all the time. One of my
no.
few complaints. They are real chatterboxes. They will they can't help you because they're not woodcutters, but they will cheer you on. And in their
that's
cheers,
funny.
they will debuff the trees and then they will buff you. So it they lower
It really
the
is friendship is your power.
Yes, friendship is your power. Now, however, if one of the members of your party is another miner or another woodcutter, they'll jump in there with you and they'll start helping you get the big high-level trees that you can't do on your own, or you can assign them out to other pockets of ore deposits or trees so that you can sort of divide and conquer certain areas.
Interesting.
So a lot to do there.
And it seems like a lot, especially as you get into to the later game, like a lot of just like resource and party management, just like, because I assume all this stuff is happening in real time. It's
All
not
of
like
this stuff happens
you
in real
send
time.
him off. It does it like you send him off and you can go to this miner person in this other area later and like see them, or is it like they're unavailable for 3 hours?
They have to be in the party with you. So this is actually something that I don't really think it's a con at all because they level up very quickly, but each of your party members individually levels up. And the only way that you can level them up is by having them in the party. And the party limit is 3. So you as you acquire more party members who live in like your colony in the present, for lack of a better word, you're totally recolonizing the island and building out this whole thing. Anyways, if you want to get them leveled up, you have to shuffle them into the party. And that might not necessarily be something that's helpful because let's say that I want to go fight a dragon, but everyone in my party is a tailor, a cook, and like a woodcutter. They're not really combat classes, so they might live and they might help deal a little damage to the dragon, but they're not going to be like really helping out here.
Right.
So you really have to be careful with your party management depending on what task you're going to do. Maybe you're just gathering and it doesn't matter that you have 3 farmers in the party. Maybe you're actually going to farm and you want 3 farmers in the party. It really just depends on what you're trying to do. I like the flexibility of it. However, let's get into a couple of the little, like, mostly quality of life cons that I have about the game.
Okay.
So specifically with regards to party management, I don't like that you can't do it freely.
I was about to ask, do
Yeah.
you have to go to a specific place to do it?
You do. So you have to be in the present and you have to go to the guild office that you've built in the present, go talk to a guy to swap out party members. Maybe it's actually a feature that I've just missed and I don't know how to do it yet because there's a lot of menus, guys. There's
For sure.
a lot of stuff going
Sounds
on
like
all the
there is.
time. But it seems like you can only swap out your party members in the present at that specific desk, for lack of a better word. I don't love that. I also don't love that your party members, this is a settings thing. I wish that there were a setting to turn off idle chit chat from party members because 2 things: 1, it's annoying; 2, they only have like 1 to 2 voice lines.
No.
So they're just repeating the same voice line over and over again. And you can't turn it off, and they're not saying anything helpful about the
I
environment.
think I'd be done. I think that would like
It's
how
quite
how
unfortunate.
constant.
It's not like constant,
Yeah.
but it's enough that it's like,
Shut the fuck up.
Princess Laura the Paladin, if you say your voice line one more time.
Oh, yeah, that's
Now,
not good.
Another option is you can empty the party. So if you know that you're just going to be doing chill stuff, like you just want to go fishing, you don't need another angler, you just want to cut trees, you don't need another woodcutter, you can go it alone. You can just leave all of your party members back in the present at your colony, and you can go your own way. But for the most part, if you are out and about doing quests and doing activities, you will be actively engaged in something enough that they mostly don't have a lot of downtime to spit out their dumb little voice lines. But it is annoying,
But still,
and I do wish you could turn it off.
That is...
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's one of the unfortunate things about the game.
It's one of those things that I feel like, and maybe it is, like, in the settings of it, does it have, like, audio where you can turn off? Like, because, like, a lot of games now will have, like, a different slider for, like, music, sound effects, different stuff, like, or dialogue.
They may have had sliders for that stuff, but there was no
not for like
toggle.
sound effects.
Yeah, there wasn't a toggle for it.
Because if you could at least like mute it, that would be one thing. And then it's just like you see them like talking, their mouths moving, but you don't hear it. You're just like, oh my god.
On the
I'm trying
other
to like
hand,
yawn all the time. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. This is the fantasy life. It's just got you really drained. And it's a lot of stuff.
From the day I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm trying to like stifle. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like wide awake. What's going on?
Anyways, so the point is, there's a lot happening in fantasy life constantly. There's just a few little quality of life tweaks that I would love to be able to make here and there, but nothing game breaking.
Sure.
And speaking of game breaking, I've really only encountered a tiny handful of temporary glitches that very quickly work themselves out. Like one time I was chipping away at an ore block, and my miner that was also in the party with me was trying to help out, but he got stuck. Just his animation, he got stuck and he wasn't able to do his thing. But when I stopped mining, he also stopped mining and he immediately snapped back out.
Oh, okay.
It only happened once. There are very few glitches. For the most part, the performance on PS5 is really good. I've really noticed no frame drops. I really haven't seen any lagging or anything like that, so it seems to run quite well. The very pop, colorful, cartoony style of the game, it just looks really good. It's very vibrant.
I mean, it looks like just from the stuff that I've looked at, it looks like, typical like anime-esque setting, like not Ghibli, but like adjacent.
Yes. So the creators of Fantasy Life are Level 5 Games. They're also the ones who worked on Ni no Kuni, which is interesting that you say Studio Ghibli, because obviously that's in partnership with them. And then they've also done the Professor Layton games.
Oh, okay.
So Level 5 have done a lot of really good games. So I feel like you can trust Level 5.
For sure.
Not that mobile game, but all the other games really good.
Don't fall for that crap.
Don't fall for that mobile game. But all the other games are really good. I would say that I have already gotten my money's worth out of Fantasy Life, and
nice.
I feel like, so this is something I'm not sure of. I feel like I'm definitely going to get a lot of hours out of it, but based on where I'm at in the story and the leveling, I have no idea what the ceiling is, Like,
does this just kind of continue
is it
to
forever?
infinity? Like,
and
you just do these little tasks and just go between this, or is there an actual endpoint?
I don't know. And since I didn't play the previous Fantasy Life game and I haven't looked it up because I want mystery in my life.
Right.
I like to discover things on my own. A little bit of mysteria. Get it, everybody? Anyway,
the lands we're talking about this time in this Fantasy Life.
Oh boy. Anyway, so I have no idea. Am I a fifth of the way? Air quotes through. Does the game technically end, or does it just keep going after I finish the main story? I don't know. Honestly, I also kind of don't care. I'm just playing it and I'm having fun with it. And I think that if you're a fan of games like either the previous Fantasy Life, maybe you played it on DS and you're wondering if you should get it for the new consoles, I would say definitely yes. If you like the original, for sure get the new one. Even if you're just a fan of your Breaths of the Wild, your Animal Crossings, your Stardew Valleys, I think your Coral Islands, I think that you would still get a lot out of this game. It is a little bit heavier on the action than some of those other ones, but I think that it strikes a really good balance kind of across the board.
Nice. I mean, definitely hearing that the combat side of it and stuff is a little bit more, because I mean, I like going to the mines and everything in Stardew Valley, but the combat aspect
the children yearn for the mines.
Yeah, it's very one note.
Yes.
So I do love that games like this that follow that typical resource management, town management, life management kind of stuff, still finds these ways to add in a little bit of more variety, just to flesh out what could be a little bit more of a dull part or not. Kind of like how Clair Obscura is doing that with the turn-based combat, adding in the more real-time components of the parrying and the dodging, just kind of fills that space a little bit.
Absolutely.
So I like that. Definitely a lot more going on in that game, though, than I realized.
So much. I was going to say that it seems like a game that Sam would love.
Oh, yeah.
Except that there's a lot of dialogue.
Ooh,
so even though it's in short spurts, I feel like that might actually kill it off for her.
Well, I don't know. Stardew has a pretty good amount of like
it does. Maybe she would be
conversation
all right with it.
between townsfolk and whatnot.
There's a lot of it's like
it's actual cutscenes.
Yeah,
maybe not. But who knows? She still does love. I keep trying to get her back on Stardew.
I do believe, though, I actually haven't done it because I do like the story. It's not like Monster Hunter where I'm trying to constantly skip it. I do believe that there are the ability to put the cutscenes on auto, which I really love, so that you don't have to keep pushing X to get to the dialogue. And I think you can skip them entirely if you don't want to.
Oh, perfect.
Another nice little quality of life thing is once you get the gist of any certain class of life, like the gathering, the hunting, etc., you can choose to skip the tutorial levels.
Oh, that's
nice. So if
nice.
you just want to not do the little story-based tutorial, you can just skip it.
Because I bet you kind of like once you start on a few of those life choices, they pretty much all are like, okay, I get the gist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like once you understand the crafting mini game from the tailor, it's the same thing for the other ones, just with a slightly different flavor. Once you understand how to hit trees good, you know how to hit ore good. It's not complicated.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, so, I mean, sounds like there's a lot to that game. Definitely, like, I was way wrong in my initial estimation of what this game was. It is not a massive online MMO.
One thing that I actually have... So quick note about that. There is apparently an online mode.
Oh, interesting.
I just haven't touched it at all because I do not play life sim games online. That's not me.
because you want to have the complete control.
Yeah, I want to be able to do my own thing. I don't want to bother with other people. I don't care if you can help me cut down trees. I want to do it myself.
That's right. You see the fruits of your labor and your hard work. I agree.
But for anybody that's playing the online mode and you're loving it, maybe tell me about it. I would love to hear how that works.
Yeah, because I mean, I wonder if it's more of the like set up with your friends thing and you're like, hey, let's start this and work on it together, or is it more like a drop in, drop out kind of like
it seemed like a drop in,
like
drop
Bloodborne,
out.
like how it does those like invasions or whatever.
It kind of felt like that, but like I said, I didn't approach it at all.
Yeah, like if it was randoms, that would be weird.
Yeah, so I didn't do it at all. I haven't done it at all yet, I should say. Maybe I actually will give it a shot for when I eventually do the full final review, but for now, I haven't touched the online mode. I just know that it's there.
Cool. Something to look forward to, at least. Yeah. There you go. Well, everybody, if you have played Fantasy Life I, the girl who controls...
Steals. The girl who steals time.
You sound like the villain in this story.
There's thievery.
Just all the way around. But if you have played Fantasy Life I and know what the I means, or you just enjoy the game and or have any other thoughts on it, well, we would love to hear from you. So send us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Comment below wherever you're listening to or watching the show. Join our Discord with us and talk about it with us there. We would love to hear from you. But I think that wraps up this episode of Team Chat Podcast. Come back next week for another fun and exciting episode. But until then, everybody, I'm one of your hosts, Jared Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Adios.
We'll see you all next time.